It doesn't matter whether your parents were good or bad or indifferent. God knew that those two individuals possess exactly the right genetic makeup to create the custom you. He had you in mind, and you are no accident. They had the DNA God wanted to make you. While they are illegitimate, and I don't want to use the other word now, I'm going to behave this morning. While they are illegitimate parents, there are no illegitimate children. Can I repeat myself? If you are seated here in this auditorium here this morning on this beautiful Sunday in April, and if there was ever a time when your mother or your brother or your in-laws or whoever shared some sensitive news to you that you were never planned, they are sadly mistaken, because you are not here by accident. Your parents might not have planned you, but God have planned you surely. I'm here to say that maybe a young girl and a young boy made their mistakes while they were 16, 17, and they were 18. And out of that, children were born. And most of the times, the grandmom and dad raised those children. And sometimes those children feel so belittled or feel that they don't fit in. Or sometimes there is a marriage between the mother and another a person, and they don't want to accept this little boy into their marriage because they want to start clean. And this little boy or girl is now raised by the grandparents. I am saying to that type of person, if you hear and you feel a form of rejection from your mother or your father or from your grandparents or from a teacher or from a professor or anyone else, I'm here to tell you there is somebody that will never reject you. I'm here to tell you that you will make it in life. I'm here to tell you that somebody is actually summoning you to tell you that you are His. You will never go under. I'd love to repeat myself. There might be illegitimate parents, but there are no illegitimate children. Many children are unplanned by their parents, but they are not unplanned by God. I'm also here to share with parents this morning that if there is a baby which we call a lat lammertjie, and the age gap is 10 to 15 years between the last born and the one before, never made that mistake to say to their child that you were not planned. You were an accident. Because no one is an accident. God had you in mind. That's exactly what happened on the cross. God took what looked like negative and turned it into positive. Now, if you look back to Christ in the book of Luke chapter 23, not as the murder of an aspiring young prophet, but as God's plan to redeem the world. And the blood of Christ is not just the lifeless stain of martyr, but the blood that washes away the sins of the repentant person. In Colossians 2, from 13 to 15, says that Jesus forgave us all our sins, having cancelled the written code that was against us and stood opposed to us. He took it away and He nailed it to the cross. We are redeemed. And having disarmed the powers and the authorities, He made a public spectacle of them, and He triumphed over them by the cross. God didn't make Joni Tada. He didn't make Joni Tada's problems go away. But out of the ashes of personal tragedy, God is using this Joni Tada to impact the lives of others. God help her to turn a negative into a positive. I want to ask you as a congregation here this morning, isn't it interesting that we live a demoralized and discouraged life, and just because somebody said something negative about us? Think about it. Or maybe you are living a discouraged life and a demoralized life because your husband turned on you. Or maybe you are living a discouraged life because your marriage at this stage is not working out. Think deeper. Think deeper. Think Joni Tada. Think 17 years of age. Think about this lady strapped in a wheelchair, not able or possible to use her hands. Think about her, a beautiful career in swimming. Think about her. And as you notice on the clip, that Joni Tada cannot even brush her teeth. She mentioned in that clip that she don't want to cry or sneeze because she cannot even wipe her own nose. If you think that's not bad, and I hope you read it in a good light, what when Joni Tada goes to the toilet? Look at the embarrassment of how somebody else you need to call and wipe you. Now think of her. She had to start out of the ashes with a brand new career, and even up till today don't have the use of her legs or her arms, but she's so positive. I'm bringing this comparison here by saying this. Don't you think that we are a little too petty? Petty. Petty party, petty. Don't you think that we are a little too petty? Don't you think? I want to ask the question differently. Place yourself in Joni's position. And now you have your situation, and you have Joni's situation here in front of you. And I give you a choice. And I say to you this morning, choose. Do you want to be you? Or do you want to be Joni? Think a little deeper.